All right, and so we are now recording. So welcome to the USC Viterbi Code.org info session. My name is Sarah Thomas. I'm the Assistant Director at the K-12 STEM Center at USC Viterbi School of Engineering. And we are a regional partner of Code.org, which means that we manage applications from teachers locally, we manage the cohorts, and we do basically everything locally for National Code.org so that teachers in Southern California are able to take advantage of this great training program. And just to make sure that everybody is aware of who their regional partner is, the regional partners work for the different regions in Southern California. So while we do work with teachers from Southern California, we do have a specific geographic location. So we are Greater Los Angeles area, with the exception of many of the teachers in LAUSD. So if you're wondering if your specific school falls under the USC Viterbi regional partner, the best way to find that out is through the application page. When you click this application, which I'll show you and go into a little bit more later, you will enter your zip code and it'll let you know who your regional partner is. But a lot of this information, even if we are not your regional partner, will still be very relevant to you. So if you're not sure, I recommend you still stick with me. I'll be able to probably answer a lot of your questions. Oh, and this is our email address. So if you have other questions that come up later after the session today, I'll also be putting this in the chat, but you have access to the slides, so please send us an email. So before I go into the Code.org professional learning programs, I'd love to hear a little bit about what brought you here today. So you're welcome to unmute and share. You can also type in the chat. So what brings you here today?
I guess I could go first. I'm just here to find out.
Hi, I'm Antonia.
Oh.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Antonia.
Okay, sorry. I'm Antonia. I'm here today because my district is Glendale Unified, and I was accepted into their SAMR program. So I started messing around with coding and stuff like that. And I guess through the whole pandemic, I just got hooked on tech. It's, you know, a whole departure from my social science teaching that I can integrate into my teaching. So I just wanted to really like sharpen skills and bring kids what they need for their futures.
Fantastic. That's excellent. Well, you're in the right place.
Did you say Glendale Unified, Antonia?
Yeah, I work for Glendale Unified.
Okay,
yes.
I work for Glendale too. I'm a Bill's coach at Toll Middle School, and specifically looking for coding opportunities for bring to the students. One of our lead tech teachers left last year, so we're kind of in limbo and they don't get the coding and stuff. So
Great. Thank you. All right. So, and if anyone else wants to share, you're welcome to share in the chat or unmute. But I'm going to move forward because it is Saturday morning and I do want to appreciate your time today. So this is what I'm going to cover. This might take the full hour, but usually it doesn't, depending on how many questions you have. And of course, you're welcome to follow up with me via email later. So I'm first just going to briefly touch on why I teach computer science. And this is because a lot of times we're talking with teachers who have an option to add an enrichment course and aren't really sure what they want to add. And computer science is one of the options. So why teach computer science as opposed to something else? I'll also go into the Code.org professional learning programs, what they consist of, talk about scholarship information, so how to participate completely free of charge, the actual CS Discoveries and CS Principles courses, what they look like. I'll have a question and answer session where I'll answer any questions that you have. And then we have 5 Code.org t-shirts and we have less than 5 people here. So already, you know, you're all walking away with the Code.org t-shirt for joining our info session today. So starting with why teach computer science, I think it's really important to, when thinking about why why we want to bring computer science, thinking about our future tech-infused economy and our increasingly digital world. So computer science teaches skills that are going to be really essential for this future tech-infused economy, which is critical thinking, programming, computational thinking that other subjects don't necessarily touch on. And also, as our economy is becoming more tech-infused, it's not just computer science careers that are using computer science and coding now. It is many, many careers. So across multiple fields, coding is going to be essential, and it's going to give our students that leg up in the job search by having that skill. So in addition to that, there's a lot of other things that computer science correlates with when students take computer science classes. So they perform better in other subjects, they excel at problem solving, more likely to attend college, and do better in other skills as well, such as creativity, math skills, metacognition, spatial skills, and reasoning. Also, I think it's important to touch on that students really like computer science. So second to only the performing arts, students say that their favorite class is computer science. There's a lot of room for creativity. I think sometimes we think computer science that it's just, math. Oh, if I'm not good at math, I won't be good at that. But there's so many skills that it touches on, and it really can bring students who maybe aren't traditionally interested in a STEM subject into STEM through computer science because of all of the engagement that it offers our students. And I see something in the chat. Oh, you're welcome for the t-shirt. Yay. Yes, I'm glad I'm able to give everyone a t-shirt too. All right. So just thinking about in California, there are over 79,000 open computing jobs this year in California, which is right because California is a tech center. That's twice the state average demand for new computer science positions. However, in California, we only have a little over 7,000 new computer graduates each year. So you can see that there's this huge need for new computer science professionals. And that being a computer science professional is fairly lucrative right out of college. Those positions, these open positions, have an average salary of over $115,000. But there is this need for computer science, people with this computer science background. And part of that is because we don't yet teach it as regularly as we teach a subject like science or math. So we know that the want is there, that students are interested in this. 90% of parents want their child to study computer science with this awareness that this is part of the future. But currently only 47% of high schools teach computer science. So that's part of the lack. And by adding more computer science classes, we're hoping that that's going to be the solution that brings our kids into these positions, these lucrative positions, and give them job security. So just another slide about how the lifetime earnings of a computer science major are more than that of your average college student and more than a high school graduate. So in summary, teaching computer science is one of the most important things that we can do for our students in this increasingly digital world. So now why we're all here, finding out more about the Code.org professional learning program. So this is a good kind of summary slide. If you want to go back to this later, you have the link. But the Code.org teacher training program, there are two separate training programs that we implement. We have one separate one for middle school and one for high school teachers. Both will have a summer 5-day intensive training. And we have those that take place at the same time. So July 25th through the 29th will be this year during the summer. And we're hoping that it's going to be in person at USC. That's what we're planning for. And also the training has quarterly implementation workshops. So that means that during the school year, we check in with you 4 times. You'll come back, we'll have another workshop. We'll introduce new content that we weren't able to cover over the summer. And we'll be able to all share about how it's going at the school sites and learn from each other and best practices from each other in that in those workshops. So importantly, no background in computer science is needed in order to teach code.org. They are introductory level courses, and there are full scholarships available. So the two courses, Computer Science Discoveries and Computer Science Principles. So the two professional learning programs will teach you how to teach these two courses. So Computer Science Discoveries is traditionally for middle school. However, it is also appropriate for grades 9 and 10 in high school. This might be if you're already teaching a computer science principles course and you're finding that at your school there are students who aren't quite ready for that. Even though computer science principles is also an introduction course, it is more advanced. So that might be a good reason to have computer science discoveries at grades 9 or 10, just to clarify why there's some overlap there. And for CS principles, that's for teachers of grades 9 through 12, and that can be taught as an AP. So in this, in the computer science or the code.org professional learning program, you will explore the curriculum of these two courses and all of the learning tools that are associated. There's the code.org dashboard that you can use to manage your students where they're at in their lessons. There's just lots and lots of different tools from code.org that you'll be introduced to. You'll practice teaching the course as a lead learner. So this is part of the reason why you don't need a code or a computer science background in order to teach these courses, is you will practice it and learn it through the professional learning program, but also the course is taught so that you're learning alongside with your students and you're showing them that it's okay to learn and make mistakes along the way. So it's a very empowering way to teach it. Knowing that you're learning alongside with your students and that you don't need to know all the answers. You can tell your students, let's figure that out together. You'll also be able to collaborate and share expertise with your teachers, fellow teachers in your cohort along the way through those implementation workshops. And you will have the option to earn continuing education units. So up to 6 continuing education units from the USC Rossier School of Education, and I can answer questions about that if you have questions about that at the end. So the requirement for applicants, we ask that you commit to participating in all 5 days of the summer training. Those are full day training, so morning and afternoon. The 5-day workshops this year is at the end of summer. So hopefully if you have teachers, or if you or your teachers have summer school, that this falls after that. And quarterly implementation workshops. So we do recognize that these workshops are on Saturdays throughout the year. You might not be able to attend one due to a wedding or some other event like that. And we ask that you let us know in advance so that we can try to have you participate in another regional partners workshop. So we try to work with you to make sure that you get that information that you need. We just ask that you commit to all of these 9 days of training as much as possible, with some flexibility if something comes up. We also ask that you intend to teach the course in the following school year. And that's because we have found that when teachers attend the professional learning program, but do not implement in the following year, it's less effective. And those implementation workshops are a lot less helpful. So we do really recommend, if you think, I might not teach it next year, but teach it the year after that, that you might want to wait and hold off until the year before to be able to fully participate and really benefit the most from the program. We also ask that when you're adding a computer science class, the CS Discoveries or CS Principles class, and it doesn't have to be named that, but using that curriculum, that it is a new class that's not replacing another computer science class. So the mission of code.org is to increase access to computer science. So we don't want to replace another course for that reason. If the course is typing or a STEM class that has just a small element of computer science, that's okay. But But yeah, so if you have questions about that, please ask me on an individual case by case basis. It'll probably differ. And then we also ask that there's administrative approval with your application. So when a teacher submits an application to code.org, another notice goes out to their administrator who they put into their application asking for approval. So we do ask that the administrator completes that approval form. All right, and then I'm going to talk about scholarship requirements, and then I'm just going to pause and ask if there's any questions. So for the scholarship requirements, we ask that, so first I'll say that scholarships are an incredibly important part of code.org, national code.org's mission to increase computer science access. So it's a really important part of our program, and we do award a majority of scholarships for those who participate. So in addition to meeting the requirements that I just listed on the previous slide, to earn a full scholarship, we look for schools that have a majority of students that are coming from underrepresented racial and ethnic backgrounds in STEM fields and or are eligible for free and reduced meals. And for teachers who don't qualify for a full scholarship, we do have a half scholarship rate of $1,500. And if you feel that you don't qualify for a full scholarship, but you're not sure that your school would be able to pay that half scholarship rate, we recommend that you still apply and still reach out to us, because we really want to work with you to expand access to computer science education at your school. So I'm going to pause here and see if there's any questions before I move on and check the chat.
I have a question.
Sure.
So basically we only have like cheap Chromebooks. Is there any additional equipment that the kids would need?
Code.org has worked on Chromebooks. I think the one technology issue we've seen in the past is like working on phones and possibly tablets, but Chromebooks have been fine.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I know that my principal has approved me, but I have not myself applied for a scholarship. So would I just go on the website to look for the scholarship?
So the scholarship is just included in your application.
Okay.
So yeah, when you apply, there's like an area that says like, would your school be able to pay for this? And if you say no, then we'll automatically start to consider you for a scholarship. And also, if we see the data from your school matches these requirements here of majority of students coming from underrepresented backgrounds or free and reduced being qualified for free and reduced meals, we'll also automatically consider you.
Okay, and one more for the question. So I do work at a continuation high school, so I think I meet the requirement. But because I work at a continuation high school, we're on a 12-week trimester and not a 18 or 20-week semester.
Okay.
I'm trying to implement the program in a shortened period. I mean, obviously I know nothing, but do you think it would be doable?
So for computer science principles, which I'll talk about in just a second, if you're trying to teach computer science principles, you might not be able to teach the AP version with a shortened amount of time. But you also might want to consider computer science discoveries depending on what you think your students would be able to do in that amount of time. So I'm going to talk about each of them, and you can maybe have that thought or that question in the back of your mind as you're looking at the two programs.
Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions?
Yes, I have a question. So in order to teach coding, I guess the district requires, I'm in Glendale as well, they require certain like background or credentials. If you take the program, will this kind of lead you towards being able to teach this?
So in California, this is changing all the time, but teachers who have a credential in that they can teach math, science, or business are automatically able to teach computer science, as far as I understand. And right, like I said, it's changing every year. if you do not have that background, then there is still an opportunity to teach computer science, but you'll need approval from your administration. And that process differs by district. So you would probably want to talk to somebody at your district about that. But yeah, usually it's like sort of like an emergency, like we need somebody in this position now. We don't have someone who has that background who's eligible to teach the class or who's available to teach the class now. And it's sort of a year by year asking for filling out a form for you to be able to teach that class.
Okay.
Hopefully that answers your question.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Oh, it looks like we have a couple people who have just joined us. So I'm going to share the link to the slides so that everyone can have these links. I apologize if you were waiting in the waiting room. There you go. So you can see what we've already covered and have those links. All right. So, and I'll stop again at the end for questions for those people who have just joined us and have questions about those slides that you've looked over at the beginning. So I'm going to play a short video about computer science discoveries, just to kind of cover the basics, and then I'll go into more depth. So please let me know if you do not have sound, if you're not able to hear the video.
Computer science has disrupted entire industries. It's changed the way we think, it's changed the way we communicate, it's changed the way we work, and it has the opportunity to change the way we teach students.
And having even a little bit of grounding in computer science can help you think about the world differently.
And getting past that initial fear of what computer science is what's going to change the whole field of computer science.
Computer Science Discoveries is a year-long computer science course that covers hardware and how computers work. It covers some web development, how do websites get made, how do they get published. You get to do some programming with video games. We talk about socially impactful areas of computer science.
Well, it's fun because a lot of the time you get to collaborate with other people, and you also get to get some insight on other people's ideas.
You can do a lot of creativity stuff, so if you're a creative person, you might like it too.
And it always helps you with your life, no matter what you're doing. Computer science is always there.
It's about the meaning of the work, like changes that you actually want to see in the world, or fun that you want to have, or beauty that you want to experience.
Through the act of making something simple, you're learning all these lessons that you're going to be able to use to make really anything that you want.
There are a lot of challenges along the way, but it's pretty satisfying in the end where you get to just stand back and look at what you've done.
We've developed a lot of supports to help new teachers get into computer science. Our online learning platform, Code Studio, our lesson plans, our videos, and our forums where teachers can go to help support each other.
Not only do I have an organization that supports me, but I also have a whole community that I can lean on if I need something.
Teachers start this course with a 5-day intensive kickoff and workshops throughout the school year.
Teachers have an opportunity to experience the.
Sorry about that, I pressed the wrong button. So a lot of that is going to cover what we've already discussed, so I'll stop it there. So the computer science discoveries curriculum. These are a couple of examples of units that the curriculum covers. So there's the physical computing unit, there's the interactive animation and games unit, and the web development unit. So physical computing unit, this is using hardware. So using the Adafruit circuit board here. And you can see these are really fun different opportunities to be introduced to computer science. So a little bit about the CS Discoveries implementation. It can be taught as just a semester or a year-long course. So this one does have some flexibility in terms of whether you can add it into an existing STEM program that you have, as long as you do at least 3 units, or just start a CS Discoveries course and go from beginning to end. So it's flexible in that way. The course takes a very wide lens on computer science. It's very introductory by covering some of the units that I've already discussed, as well as data and a lot of other topics as well. It's great. It's a great introduction, and it's a lot of fun for young students. So now, what is CS Principles? I'm not going to share the video because there's a lot of overlap, but if you want to watch the video on your own time, it's included in the slides. So CS Principles curriculum and implementing CS Principles. So this is a higher level introductory course. We do require that you teach it as a year-long course, and that's because there's just so much content in there that it would not really work as well as CS Discoveries to just pick and choose units of the course. We ask that you commit to teaching it as a year-long course. It can be taught as an AP or a non-AP depending on what you're emphasizing in the course. So, and the curriculum is endorsed by the College Board. So for example, if you're not teaching it as an AP, some of those like practice test areas, you might be able to take some of those out and emphasize more on building the skills with your students in other areas. So this is a rigorous course. There's a lot to cover, but it's really, really engaging. Students are making apps and learning about how the internet works, and just it's really exciting for students. There's a lot of videos, there's a lot of tutorials, so it's also very approachable as well. The course covers a really wide range of topics as well. Like I said, it's another introductory level course, even though it's at that high school level. So here's some examples of digital privacy and security, big data, and societal impact, which I think is one of the things that really resonates with our high school students the most. And so just talking about, again, it can be offered as an AP or a non-AP class. And when we have polled students who have taken it as an AP, they're 12% more likely to enroll in college and more likely to do well in other AP math courses as well. So I'm almost done with my presentation. I'm just going to end with what the next steps are. So here is the timeline for next steps. So we do have a so the application is already open. I'll start there. The application opened on December 1st. So you're welcome to apply right now after this presentation. We do have a March 1st early deadline for especially this would be for if you feel like you might not qualify for that scholarship, you're kind of on the borderline, you feel like, in meeting those eligibility requirements, but you still want to be considered for a scholarship. So if you apply before March 1st, we'll definitely consider your application more. We have a better sense of the cohort at that point. So we'll consider you more for one of those little limited number scholarships. But we do take applications all the way up to May 1st. And then the summer 5-day training is in July, like I said, July 25th to the 29th. We have those throughout the school year, September to April, we have those 4 full-day implementation workshops that are on Saturdays. Those dates you'll know in advance so you can put them on your schedule. And then, so right now we are in the middle of Computer Science Education Week. So that falls in the beginning of December. So many of our code.org cohort teachers participated in CS Education Week. Every single event had at least one code.org classroom that attended. So if you become part of our code.org cohort, you'll also have VIP admission to those kinds of events. So Computer Science Education Week, and we also have USC's Robotics Open House in April. So the application, the link is on this slide. You can also click this button. It takes you to a page that looks like this. Actually, no, that looks like this, where you can type in your zip code and find out who your regional partner is to apply. We hope it's us. And please enter the zip code of your school. So if you enter your own personal zip code, it might not totally match up to where your school, what location your school district is. So we suggest you put in your school zip code here. And it will take you to our application page, hopefully, or possibly another regional partners district page, but the process is very similar. So you'll see the two, whatever courses are being offered, description, and then you can start the application here. So my email address is here if you want to reach out to me. Also, we have our K-12 STEM 1 email address. That's another great way to reach out to us. And I am absolutely available now to answer any other questions that came up for those who joined us early and for those who joined us later, if there's any questions that you have. All right, it looks like we do not have questions, but I'm happy to stick around, and I'll also let you know a little bit about what else, the other links that are here. So as part of this, is part of our CS Education Week, it would be wonderful if you could fill out this survey form for us, just so that we can account that you were here and your feelings about Computer Science Education Week, and get some feedback. So we'd love if you could fill that out. Also on our links page here. So again, we have the program application. We have our uscviterbi.org website. So this is great to see, how many cohorts we've worked with. So this will be our 4th cohort. Yes, our 4th cohort this year. And some information, more information about what makes our regional partners, our regional program unique. Another video you're welcome to watch. This is a great video that covers both computer science principles and discoveries that you might want to show to your district. If you need to pitch adding computer science to your district. And here's some curriculum as well, so you can just get a little bit more in-depth view of the CS Discoveries curriculum, the CS Principles curriculum, and the CS Principles syllabus. I find that this is really helpful also for when you need to talk to your administration about what the course looks like. And please let us know if those links don't work. All right. And let me just see how many folks we have here now. So we do have exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people here. So everybody is a code.org t-shirt raffle winner. So we have each of your email addresses who attended here today. So we'll be following up with a form for you to fill out so we can send those code.org t-shirts to you as a thank you for stopping by and listening to our information session. And with that, so I'll stop sharing, and and I'll also stop the recording. So thank you everybody who's able to watch on the recording.